Okay. All right. So welcome to the class. Everybody, I guess I don't need to introduce myself because everybody here knows me by now. I'm not sure if we have anybody new, with the exception of Annette. I don't think you've ever been to one of these classes, but you still know me. Anyway, we have these classes every Saturday, and they're kind of fun. We just talk about just health issues. We talk about essential oils. We talk about healthy eating. Just healthy kind of stuff. And one of the things that I find is when you're talking about health and stuff, and you talk with other people, you can kind of bounce things off of other people, and you also get a lot of motivation, especially for myself, because as I talk about these things, it's kind of like practice what you preach kind of thing. And so I find myself reminding myself throughout the week. It's like, remember the healthy eating, remember the exercise, remember this, just all the things that we're supposed to be remembering to do. But anyway, this particular class is, we're going to go into women's health issues, and we're all different. We have different genetics, in the sense that a lot of things that we deal with, it's maybe the same things that our parents dealt with. Oftentimes, actually, you could see that our parents gave us so many attributes about ourselves, whether it's the color of our skin, the color of our hair, the color of our eyes. It could be, maybe a predisposition to cancer, heart disease. Heart disease runs rampant in my family, my mom's side. And so, lo and behold, I go to the doctor, and, the doctor's telling me I have heart conditions and, things like that. So we share a lot of the same types of things. In other words, most of the most common things are things that oftentimes all of us share to some degree. And so what we're going to talk about is, we're going to talk about 5 of the top health concerns. Heart disease being the top, and that's what I was talking about, how that, I was diagnosed with a heart condition, some years back. And I mean, I'm really asymptomatic. I don't, it doesn't hold me back. It doesn't hinder me, but I do have to consider, that this is something that I have going on, that, I need to just remember that, and I need to make good choices based upon that. And even if we don't have any health conditions, we still want to make good choices. So anyway, today we're going to talk about 5 of the top health concerns: heart disease, breast cancer, osteoporosis, depression, and immune disorders. So heart disease, that being the very top, because it is literally the leading cause of death for women in the US. And, I know when I talked to my mom, she, we were talking about, like all of my grandparents, my uncles, and so many of them either were on pacemakers, died of a heart attack. And then, of course, back in the day, sometimes people would pass away and the doctors didn't know why, right? Now they have a lot more capability of telling, why people, die and things like that. But death is the leading cause of death heart disease is a leading cause of death right now at this time in the United States. So that's, with that being said, something that we definitely have to consider. We have to take that into consideration. And, we're going to talk a little bit about just some ways that, that we can maybe prevent, this. And we're going to talk about, at the very end of this presentation, we're going to talk about our diet. Originally, I was going to talk about the diet first, but then I decided to do it the opposite, to talk about the health conditions and then talk about our diet lastly. But anyway, about 1 in 16 women aged 20 or older, which is roughly 6.2% of the population, have some type of coronary heart disease. All right, whether it's the coronary arteries, whether it's the ventricles, whether it's the atria, whether it's the valves. So there's a lot that goes into, to our hearts, and it's you know, it's a very, very complex body system, our circulatory system. Now, this is a study that was published that was showing how that essential oils used in aromatherapy, and we're going to talk a little bit about aromatherapy in a few minutes, and in particular aromatherapy for stress relief. Okay, they say that it reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, and it's because short-term exposure, the smells have a beneficial effect on the heart rate and on the blood pressure. Very, very interesting. That's even before you would ingest it or inhale it, you know, maybe through diffusing. So here's some of the essential oils that have been used. And then there's more, and we're going to talk about the others. Ylang-ylang, clary sage, marjoram, lavender, helichrysum, cassia, and bergamot. And I want you to pay attention to in particular, lavender, okay? Because lavender is going to be stated so many times when it comes to cardiovascular health. Here's a couple more that I found. Cypress. Cypress is such an important oil for our circulatory system. I use cypress all the time. It's the oil that I literally cannot be without. Have to have cypress. But cypress and wild orange, they call it liquid gold for the blood flow, okay? Marjoram, lemongrass, cypress, wild orange. So take note of some of these particular oils that are just so beneficial for cardiovascular health. Now, this is a very, very important one, and this is one that I take every single day. It's omega-3s. Now, this XC omega is not just omega-3s, it's omega-6s and omega-9s as well. Okay, and omega-3s are very beneficial for heart health. Okay, omega-3s are beneficial for brain health. Omega-3s are just so very beneficial for us all around. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the omega-3s, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the presentation. So, but just understand that, you know, when you're talking about reducing your risk of any type of heart disease, plaque in the arteries, blood pressure issues, just understand that omega-3s are very, very beneficial. All right. All right. Essential oils for breast cancer. Okay. Now remember, this is number 2 for the top 5 women's health issues. All right. So one of the things for everybody to understand is at any given time in our body, we all have cancer cells present, okay? All they are is they're just irregular, malformed cells that are duplicating quicker than others, okay? So a healthy body, which is fed good food, and we're going to talk about food in a minute, and enjoys robust lifestyle practices, is able to remove or heal these cells. Okay, now we're going to talk a little about some essential oils that actually can heal cancer cells. I think it's very, very to talk about these things. They're actually doing a lot of studies on these oils, and I guess I shouldn't say, because it's I guess I'm not compliant if I say that they actually heal. That they might, right? So we're not regulated by the FDA, and so, you know, we've got to be careful with what we say. But one of the things that we want to remember is we want to keep the body in balance, okay? So when your body is fed junk food, when it's not well maintained, these malformed cells can continue toward the development of cancer, okay? So recent studies, scientific studies, I should say, show that we can use essential oils to support the body, heal, and to excrete these cells. Okay, that's what we want to do. We want to get rid of those bad cells, right? We want to prevent the growth of cancer. All righty, so want to talk about 5 cancer-fighting essential oils. These oils should be a part of your life on a daily basis. Okay, thyme, rosemary, oregano, chamomile, and frankincense. They are some of the most effective essential oils that fight against unhealthy, irregular cells. Okay, now what's really interesting about these particular oils is that they're able to selectively harm or disable cancer cells while leaving the good cells all intact. That's in contrast to many conventional cancer medications and treatments, such as chemotherapy, right? Chemotherapy, you know, when you're going into chemotherapy, it's killing the good and it's killing the bad as well. Okay, so we want it to kill the bad, but we don't want it to kill the good. But that's what oftentimes these conventional cancer medications and treatments are doing, right? They're often poorly targeted and they cause severe side effects. Okay, so a good analogy is to compare conventional treatment to an atomic bomb, and then to say essential oils are more like the SWAT team, right? So in other words, they're more targeted, specific. An atomic bomb, when it goes, it just destroys everything all around, right? Civilians, military, everything, right? But you send in a SWAT team and you could be very targeted on, you know, on your approach. Anyway, kind of an interesting analogy, I thought. So these are some of those beautiful oils that we were talking about. These oils should be taken on a daily basis, and all of these can be ingested and should be. All right. Another slide, essential oils for cancer support. This is a daily protocol. This DDR Prime is an unbelievable product. Okay, now I'm not going to talk a whole lot about DDR Prime today, but if you look on some of my past lectures, we've got them up on YouTube. Just type in my name, and I do go into DDR Prime because DDR Prime is an unbelievable supplement, essential oil supplement that doTERRA puts out. So place 1 to 2 drops of oil under the tongue, or add 1 to 3 drops of an oil into an empty capsule and swallow. Repeat twice daily or as needed. Okay, lavender, sandalwood, frankincense, some unbelievable oils. Talk about frankincense for just a moment. Okay, now when we're talking about pancreatic cancer, most people, when they hear that term pancreatic cancer, they usually think I'm gonna die, right? Okay, well, look at this study. Frankincense essential oil prepared from hydrodistillation of Boswellia sacra gum resins induces human pancreatic cancer cell death in cultures and in a xenograft murine model. Now, this is a study actually that I've got cited right here. Okay. Now, the conclusion of what I just said is that all fractions of frankincense essential oil from the Boswellia sacra are capable of suppressing viability and inducing apoptosis of a panel of human pancreatic cancer cell lines. That's pretty big if you ask me. Now I know Lou just got on, and Lou loves talking about apoptosis, and maybe he can talk a little bit about that after class. Osteoporosis, okay, another one of the top female conditions. All right, you can see the healthy bone. Now this would be the inside of the bone, and then you see the osteoporosis. Now in between a regular bone and osteoporosis is osteopenia. If anybody's ever been diagnosed with osteopenia, you know that you got to get to work, okay? Because if it goes all the way to osteoporosis, you're in trouble. A lot of these women, they can literally just get stress fractures. They don't even have to fall. You just get a stress fracture just because, you know, putting your weight on your, you know, on your legs, and, you know, this in particular is your femur, and a lot of this is a bone that a lot of women break when they have osteoporosis. Now, half of all women over the age of 50 will have an osteoporosis-related fracture. That is a big number. I'm over 50. I don't want to get an osteoporosis fracture. So what am I going to do? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about not only your diet, but then also you can implement some of these protocols using some essential oils. So you want to strengthen your bones? Apply 3 to 4 drops of helichrysum and oregano. Now you're going to get a dual benefit out of that to the bottom of your feet in the morning, and then again. Now, Oh, I'm sorry, in the morning, and then at night, 3 to 4 drops of wintergreen. And once again, that oil that I said I couldn't be without, cypress. Okay. Now you're going to get a dual benefit with that oregano, because oregano is like, it's powerful for our immune system, right? So, you want to keep yourself from getting sick, that oregano is very, very good to use on the bottoms of your feet. Now, I'm not going to talk about the top statistic, but just wanted to talk about the following protocol is used for healing bones. Now, helichrysum is a very, very important oil for bone healing and for bone health, but it can be used at any time for strengthening the bones. Okay, all you have to do is apply 2 to 5 drops in the bottom of your feet. Like I say, the wintergreen, or if you don't have wintergreen, eucalyptus and cypress at night before bed, and then helichrysum, or if you don't have helichrysum, use frankincense and oregano in the morning. Okay, but if you don't have helichrysum, you definitely want to get helichrysum. It took me a while to get it, but once I got helichrysum, I definitely, it's one of my favorite oils. Matter of fact, I just finished with, because they only come in the smaller bottles, and it's a good thing. I got 2 little bottles. I think it was a BOGO a couple months back, and I got 2 bottles, and thankful that I do, because now I need to open up a second one. I use it for varicose veins, along with cypress and a little bit of FCO. I just get it all over my legs after a shower. Very, very good for circulation, also good for bone health. Now, doTERRA actually has a nutrient supplement. It's called the Bone Nutrient Essential Complex. All right. It's a blend of vitamins and minerals that are essential for bone health in women beginning in adolescence and continuing through menopause. Bone Nutrient Essential Complex is formulated with bioavailable forms of natural nutrients that include vitamins C and D, plus calcium, magnesium, and other trace minerals that support healthy bone density as a woman ages. Now, when doTERRA makes a supplement, they do it right. Okay, this isn't just like going to Walmart and grabbing a bottle of one a day, which is a compact, compressed, oftentimes synthetically created. This is a bioavailable. Okay, in other words, our metabolism is very easily going to ingest it and take it in. Okay, it's going to be utilized in your body, not pass through your body, which is a lot of times what happens with some of those supplements that we would take. That we buy from the stores. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about depression. Now, I know most everybody on this call is Christian, and we don't really deal with a lot of these things. We've got our outlets, we've got our the Word of God is very encouraging, but there are times in everybody's life where we go through maybe different crises in our life. I know after the birth of a baby, and I've had 8 babies, so they call it the baby blues, right? That is short-term depression, right? So why do you go through that? Why? And what can we do to maybe help ourselves if we find ourselves in that position? Now, if you're not a woman, and if you don't have kids or whatever, you can still deal with depression. Maybe you're going through a time of crisis, whether it's a death of a loved one, divorce, maybe issues with children, maybe teenage issues or whatever. And I know I've dealt with some of these things, and so I definitely understand. This is a real feeling, and it's not something to just be shoved under the rug. We got to deal with it. So there's so many different mental and emotional issues that we can go through. Maybe we're very, very stressed. Maybe we've got some situations in our past that have scarred us emotionally. Maybe we've got anxiety. Maybe something is coming up. Maybe we're fearful or whatever. There's all these things, and especially I know I've heard at this particular time, there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of these issues. Just because we're kind of going through a time of uncertainty, right? So what do? Well, of course, we know we pray, we study, we've got one another and all of those things, but we can also diffuse. right? Diffusing is probably one of my favorite things to do. I got my diffuser running behind me. I got one running downstairs. I run them all day long. I start them in the morning and, I just let them go. Essential oils for depression. Now, mind you, look at lavender once again. Lavender is such it is what I like to call, well, actually what Kimberly Garlock calls it. She calls it the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And she's right. In other words, lavender is such a versatile oil. You could use it in so many different ways for so many different things. Bergamot, we've talked about bergamot before. Chamomile, now we haven't spoken about that, but we have spoken about ylang ylang, frankincense. We haven't spoken about petitgrain or mandarin, peppermint, lemon, geranium. Matter of fact, I have geranium in my diffuser, clary sage, rose, jasmine, and neroli. All right, so these are just some of the oils. Making roller bottle blends, putting them in your diffuser. There's all kinds of really interesting ways that we could go ahead and, take care of these, short-term issues, long-term issues, whatever term they might be. Here's a roller bottle blend. Take a snapshot if you'd like. Just 3 or 4 drops of 3 of these oils. You don't have to use all of them. A lot of times people don't have all of these oils. What I would suggest is that if there's an oil that you like, get 1 new oil every single month. And before you know it, that's kind of like what I like to do. Just get something new and try it. And neroli has been my new all-time fave. I just absolutely love that oil. And last month they did the tea tree. It was the roll-on tea tree. It was the touch. Oh my goodness, I use that like every single day, right? I mean, there's all kinds of fun things that you can do with the oils. Get them on, use them. If you have an oil kit in your house, open up those bottles and start using them. Just start getting them on your skin, smelling them, diffusing them. Google diffuser blends. I'm going to pull up a couple diffuser blends here in just a moment. But there's 10 essential oils for emotional health. So uplifting oils: wild orange, citrus bliss, doTERRA cheer, elevation, motivate. Motivate, by the way, smells wonderful. Melissa, lavender, once again, doTERRA peace, doTERRA balance, past tense. Okay, so there's all kinds of calming oils. As a matter of fact, most oils are in some way calming. Unless it's maybe like peppermint. Peppermint is very, it kind of gives you energy. Like if you're on a long trip or something and, you're getting kind of sleepy, you just, take a couple whiffs of peppermint, keep it with you in the car. But here's some real beautiful emotional diffuser blends. Calming the Storm, lavender and Roman chamomile. It just sounds so beautiful. This is the one that I like. Inner Peace, lavender, Roman chamomile, vetiver, cedarwood. Vetiver is a very thick oil. Vetiver takes forever to get out of the bottle. So if you have vetiver, be patient when you're trying to get it out of the bottle. And also pay attention to where the little hole is on the bottle. If you put the hole on the bottom or if you put the hole on the top, when you're pouring it out, it'll come out slower or faster. So pay attention to that as well. All right. So I love these diffuser blends. This is the one that I'm actually diffusing, but I'm actually using manuka, not neroli. So I got lavender, manuka, and geranium in my diffuser behind me. Smells wonderful, by the way. All righty, we are going to talk a little bit about autoimmune disease before we change the subject. So autoimmune disease. What are some autoimmune diseases? Well, there are about 100 different autoimmune diseases. There are so many of them, okay? You have rheumatoid arthritis. Do you know anybody who has it? I know people who have ankylosing spondylitis. I know people who have thyroiditis or Graves' disease. I know people who have psoriasis or eczema. I know people who've got diabetic neuropathy. I know people who have got Crohn's disease and diabetes. That would be diabetes type 1 or celiac. I know people who have lupus. I know people who have autism. There's a lot of autoimmune diseases, way more than what I'm just mentioning here. There's a lot. And these diseases can be literally debilitating. So the primary autoimmune disease treatment is inflammation-reducing medications and medications to calm down an overactive immune response. So if you're one of the unlucky ones, I say that, lightly because I don't like to take light, this is a very serious issue, but if you're one of those that suffer with an autoimmune disease, you're probably on a regimen of many different pills, right? And, this pill causes this side effect and you got to take another pill to counteract that one. And so many different side effects to all these different pills. Well, I'm going to suggest a couple of oils that you might want to incorporate into your life, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into each of these individually. I just kind of wanted to touch on the fact that you can have your arsenal of essential oils that can actually, help you with through some of these crisis times with these autoimmune diseases, I should say. Now, the oils recommended for autoimmunity. Okay, now there are 3 top oils everybody should have for autoimmunity: frankincense, copaiba, and turmeric. Now, turmeric in particular, I have one of the Christians down here on a regimen of taking turmeric in every day. And what it is, it's not just turmeric powder. These are double. It's a double capsule, and you know what? I don't think I put a demonstration of the turmeric in the slideshow, but just know it is a wonderful delivery system that doTERRA has come up with. Okay, so it's not only the turmeric, it's also the curcumin, which actually increases the bioavailability. It increases the absorption of the turmeric in your body. That's something that we can talk about another time. But also know that it's very, very important for any type of inflammation. Frankincense and copaiba, same thing. Very good for the immune system. But I also want to talk a little bit about Zendocrine, okay? Because detoxification is also very, very important if you have an autoimmune disease, okay? So Zendocrine, detoxification blend. And then also On Guard. Why On Guard? Because it's an autoimmune disease, right? So what happens is your immune system actually becomes compromised. So oils such as On Guard, whether it's the On Guard soft gels or the actual oil, very, very good at boosting your immune system. All right, now I want to talk just briefly about our diet, because diet is so important. A healthy outside starts from the inside. So we can be doing all the right things as far as, essential oils, proactive, going to the doctor, all of those things. But if we're not eating healthy, it really doesn't matter how much of that we're doing, okay? Because we know that we are what we eat, all right? Now, that's a real cool looking turtle. I was trying to figure out how on earth they put that graphic together. I know what they did is they just took another turtle shell and, sandwiched all of that stuff in between. But I thought it was really interesting, and it makes the point. You are what you eat. So what is this turtle? So what do we eat, right? What do we eat? That's what you are. That's what your cells are. That's what you are at the molecular, cellular, even with the chemicals, right? Because that's what all of these things, they all break down to simple chemicals, okay? So I really like this graphic because this was actually the what inspired my business cards for doTERRA, was that the beauty of using food as a medicine, okay? So the beauty of food as medicine is that the choice to heal and promote health can begin as soon as the next meal. I thought that was kind of interesting, right? You making a choice each and every day. Do I want to heal? Do I want to help? Or do I want to hinder, right? So what I'm putting in my body is either going to help or it's going to hinder. All right, so let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Now, this was written by the Hippocrates. They call him the father of medicine. It's a long time ago that he wrote this, but it's still just as true today. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So when your diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When the diet is correct, medicine is of no need. Now, that's not going to be in every single case, because there are some people that, actually eat very, very healthy and they still, have some type of a genetic disposition. But understand one thing, for the most part, the food that you eat can either be the safest and the most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison, says Anne Wigmore. So instead of popping all them pills, try popping some fruits and veggies. So the doctor, he gives you a choice, right? Because usually the doctors don't even talk about, good healthy food anymore, because most people aren't going to take their advice, right? So they just give you some pharmaceuticals. But one of the things that we teach and one of the things that we want everybody to understand is that we have a wellness lifestyle pyramid here at doTERRA. And the very base of it is to eat right, then to exercise, rest, manage stress, reduce your toxic load, give yourself some informed self-care, and then proactive medical care. Okay, so I thought this was a really cute graphic. I just had to include it. Imagine, you opened up your pill box and you pulled it out and this is what you had in there, take, a raspberry and a tomato and a pear instead of your pills. I thought it was just kind of interesting. All right, what I want to do is I want to talk about, this is a brand new line that doTERRA just came out with. And it's a nutrition line, all right? And it starts with just some very, very healthy practices, okay? These all by themselves are not going to make you healthy, but they certainly can help, okay? We all understand that fiber is so, so important, right? It also, fiber is very, very good for folks who are trying to lose weight, okay? Now this fiber, I know I had some this morning. I put the fiber in my oatmeal, and it gives a really, really good lemony taste. It's got some lemon essential oil in it, but it's very, very healthy for you, and it's really not very expensive. Same thing with the greens. I got my daughter hooked on these because, she knows she doesn't get as much greens. Well, every time you use the greens, you're providing 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables. So you're just giving yourself a little jump up on your, the amount of veggies that you might get in a day. So now the key ingredients in this is moringa, acai, cabbage, collard, dandelion, kale, parsley, spinach, alfalfa, barley grass, oatgrass, pineapple, mango, and goji berry. Okay, those are some really, really powerful fruits and vegetables. Now they also just came out with a protein line. Okay, so there's vanilla, there's chocolate, and then there's vegan. Okay, now I think they said that each serving has like a little over 100 calories. So you can actually use this for like a meal replacement. I do sometimes. But anyway, very, very, very good, and they taste good. I have not tried the vegan one yet. I really like the chocolate. The vanilla is really good, especially if you want to add like some fruit to it. And this is actually what the powders look like. Very, very easy to mix, to make up, and down the hatch. All right. Zendocrine, I'm not going to spend any time on this, but just understand that this is extremely good for our liver, for our kidneys, for our colon, detoxification. Very, very good. Okay, I'm really not sure why I threw this in there. I kind of like the graphic. 1 to 2 drops of water, or I'm sorry, 1 to 2 drops of this in water or a citrus drink as a part of a natural cleansing regimen. And a lot of times, we want to, clean out our system. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the lifelong vitality. Sharon's going to talk about lifelong vitality next week. I can't wait to hear what she's got to say, but just understand, very, very beneficial. This is the most important thing that I do for myself in a day. Okay, this is like my insurance policy, right? I don't have health insurance. This is my health insurance. They do some wonderful, wonderful things. What I wanted to do is I wanted to put all of the different ingredients in the Microplex BMZ, the kale, the dandelion, the parsley, the kelp, the broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, spinach, and understand that these are in a bioavailable form. They're whole food nutrient. They very easily metabolize into our system. They don't just go through our system like a lot of the other vitamins that we might take that are on the out on the market at this time. This is a repeat of the bone nutrient, but I liked it because it also talks about the phytoestrogen. A lot of women, older women, the estrogen is lacking. The bones are not doing as good. The heart isn't doing as good. There's a lot of things that break down as a result of a lack of estrogen. So this might be something you might want to look into. Alrighty, Clary Calm, something that I usually do not talk about. Very, very important for women's health. My daughters absolutely love this. This is, for that time of the month, and boy, does it work. Okay, it's also got a very, very beautiful aroma to help soothe, balance, your emotions and your mood. The ingredients is clary sage flower, lavender flower, bergamot peel, Roman chamomile flower, ylang ylang flower, cedarwood, geranium, fennel, carrot seed palmarosa, and vitex leaf berry essential oils. A lot of good stuff in there. All right, I threw this in there just for those who are dealing with neuropathy. I know my mom deals with this. This is definitely something that, if you deal with it, it's no fun. I don't look forward to ever having to deal with this. A lot of, people who deal with this, they have a lot of bad issues that come as a result of neuropathy. This, once again, I was just talking about the oils for varicose veins. I use cypress and helichrysum. You could also use cypress and lemon. All right. 1 drop of each daily on problem spots to increase circulation and to reduce the puffiness. Who out there deals with allergies? Okay, allergy shot. 2 drops of lemon, 2 drops of lavender, and 2 drops of peppermint. Well, we also have a very nice supplement called Tri-Ease. So lemon, lavender, and peppermint are already in there. It's in a little soft gel. You could just take 1 or 2 of them daily before allergy season hits. You don't want to wait until you're already sniffling and stopped up and, can't breathe, can't hear, can't function. You want to do this beforehand, okay? Sore feet. And who out there would not love to have a foot rub, right? Lemongrass and deep blue. Unbelievable combination. All right, and Intune, I'm not going to talk about it, but just know that it's very, very good for any kind of an emotional need, ADD, ADHD, autism, focus, clarity, alertness, staying on task. Replaces Adderall and Ritalin. All right, I'm not going to talk about petitgrain. Just know that it's an oil that probably a lot of you have not heard of, but it's very, very good for cardiovascular function. Marjoram, absolutely love marjoram. I diffuse that a lot at night. It's very, very good for, fussy babies. Anyway, just very, very good. Okay, I know a lot of women deal with UTIs often, right? On Guard, lemon, lemongrass, all of these, take a snapshot. You take lemon daily in your water. Cypress, rub it over your lower abdomen. Take On Guard. A lot of women suffer with UTIs. Okay. Here's another one, 2 times a day for 5 days. If you have a UTI, 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of oregano, and 2 drops of On Guard in a veggie cap. Take it 2 times per day. All right. These are just some other, things that I was looking at. I thought, would be very beneficial, but I am going to cut this short. You can take a snapshot if you would like, or you could view all of these on YouTube. I'm going to put it all on YouTube when we're done, but just understand small changes can make a big difference. Okay, just a small change, whatever it might be. Your eating, your exercise, whatever it might be, just make a small change, something that you can sustain, and then you could go from there, right? Remember, good things take time, okay? And, that's sometimes, we want instant results, Hey, I took this frankincense one time and, I still have my migraine. Well, take it again and take it again, right? So, and then understand too, sometimes we, because I was originally talking about how that, we're beautiful just as we are, and we have to see that beauty. Sometimes we look at ourselves in the mirror and we see all of the flaws, all of the things we want to change about ourselves, right? I tell you what, I can't tell you how many things I want to change about myself, right? My hair, number one. But then I go out and people are like, oh, you have such beautiful curly hair. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you don't have to deal with it every day, right? But here's the thing. Why don't we just see the beauty instead of all of the flaws, right? I know I often tell that, to those in my congregation is that, we've got so much more about us that's beautiful, I'm talking about in our hearts, than we have that's wrong with us, So we could really focus on all the flaws, and not that we just, disregard those things that are wrong about us, but what about all those things that are beautiful? Because it's the things that are beautiful that actually gives us the encouragement, right? The encouragement. We have to see the beauty. All right. Want to talk about 3 great specials that are going on February. For any new enrollee who enrolls with a $150 order will earn 50 doTERRA dollars. 50, which you can spend on doTERRA products in the future. Okay. 50 doTERRA dollars. And that's with a $150 order, not a 150 PV order, but just a $150 order. Okay. So if you get that Healthy Start Kit, that's a $150 order. Now, with a 200 PV order, now it's not a $200 order, but a 200 PV order this month, you will get all of these products. The 15 ml On Guard, the On Guard Foaming Hand Wash, which I absolutely love, the On Guard Touch, the On Guard Sanitizing Mist, which I've got multiple sanitizing mists, right? It's like I order one like every time I place an order, right? These are some of the things that On Guard is good for. Abscess tooth, air pollution, you diffuse it in your house. It's an antibacterial, it's an antifungal, it's an antiviral. You take it internally. It's good for candida. What is candida? It's a yeast. Good for bladder infections like we were just talking about. Good for mold, for flu, for mono, for MRSA, for pneumonia, for sore throat, for staph infection. This oil does so many things. It's a wonderful oil. So I just encourage everybody to take advantage of that, that special. One other special that's going on this month, 20% off of green Mandarin. Wonderfully smelling. This is a 15 ml. It's a big bottle. It's got a sweet aroma and powerful internal benefits, okay? Good for your nervous system, digestive system, respiratory system. That's when you take it internally, but it also provides just such an uplifting aroma, okay? Very, very good for our immune system as well. All right, green Mandarin, once again, we were just talking about this. You could put it in your toothpaste to promote healthy looking teeth. take 1 or 2 drops internally. You can put it in your water, put it in a veggie cap, put it under your tongue, however you want to do it, to support a healthy immune function. Okay? And that is the end